Well, hello guys! We are actually on our third video. Yay! So, I've been really dedicating some time into this project called the Kingdom of Wessex, and you're gonna see that is getting very beautiful, and I'm going to present that later in this video, in the end of this video. So now we are creating some sims to inhabit our kingdom, and of course, like every other kingdom, we need a king, we need a royal family. So right now we are creating a king. This is King William the First. He's actually the conqueror. He didn't conquer anything. He just united two counties into one kingdom. So yeah, so here we are. He's based on Aegon the Conqueror. So you're gonna see that he's married to one person that is very alike to his sister. He has a sister, and he's married to a person that is very alike her. And this is Queen Mary. She's Queen Mary, and she was made based on the Targaryen family. Also, she's more like I forgot their names. I believe that one of Aenys, or Aenys is the second king that came after him. I don't know. But she is made based on the sister that King Aegon liked the most. So she was more calm. She was very, artistic. Like, she really enjoyed his company. She was more family, traditional like. So yeah, that's her. That's totally Queen Mary, and this is her. So she's very beautiful. I love this combination of very pale, like very blonde hair with purple eyes, just like the Targaryens, and I really like this genetics, and I placed this on my Sims. So she has purple, all of them actually have purple eyes and the blonde hair. And yeah, this is it. So this is me creating her, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna create one of my favorite characters on one of my favorite sims in this let's play. That's Princess Anne. That's gonna be the next sim we're gonna create. So yeah, Princess Anne is actually my favorite because she's very like rebel-like. She's like very adventurous. She's a popularity sim, and I wanted to make her second, and I want to make her second aspiration to be like the pleasure aspiration. So nobody rules her, nobody touches her. My house, my rules, my everything. So this is her. She's my favorite character of all of them. And the promise is that she needs to get married. So we're gonna see how that's gonna develop in the future. And the king may try to marry her with his best friend, but we don't know if that's gonna work because he's a Roman sim, and she's like very, I don't care about anything, I'm gonna do whatever I want. So we're gonna see how that's gonna develop. So yeah, so talking a little bit about this project is called Kingdom of Wessex, and you're gonna see that I have a lot of inspirations. Like, I took many of the families from Pleasant View to be my main source of inspiration for the families of this kingdom. So you're gonna see a lot of familiar faces. And right now I'm actually choosing to give the king a beard because I thought that he was too, I don't know, I didn't like his style, and I was a little bothered. Yeah, but now moving on, we have the Lancaster family, and they were made based on the Pleasant family from Pleasant View. So you're gonna see that he's very a lot like Daniel Pleasant, and he's married to a sim that's very married to Pleasant but a little different, and they have twin children. So but they don't have twin sisters because I wanted to give him an heir before the game starts. So he has Lord Arthur, that is his son, and he has Lady Beatrice. Both of them are twin brother and sister, but they're not twin sisters. But yeah, he's very much like Daniel Pleasant. He's a Roman sim, and I made him a little different in the zodiac and the points because I followed a Pleasant sim table of zodiac signs for aspirations. So I made him a little different than Daniel Pleasant, just to have a little inspiration just to be very different from the Pleasants in Pleasant View. So yeah, so here we have Countess Elizabeth. She was inspired by Mary Sue Pleasant, but she's a little different. She has this curly hair. She's red-haired because I wanted all the Sims in the Lancaster family to be red-haired, and yeah, here we are. she's gonna join the political career. Also, they are gonna be a very influential family in the kingdom. They're a noble family. They're very rich, and the storyline is that they didn't like the conquest. They didn't like that they have a king now to obey. They liked their independence before, but now they have to submit themselves to a king, and they don't like it. So we're gonna have something, a little feud between them. Not a big one, but a small feud between them. And she's also gonna be friends with Charlotte, that we're gonna see later in this video, that we're gonna create like later. So yeah. And moving on, we have Lord Arthur. We're gonna create Lord Arthur, that was made based on, I don't know if Lily or Angela, but based on them. So here's the twin son of the Lancaster family, and he's currently the heir to the Earl of Essex. That's the earldom they're gonna own. So yeah, he's the one that's gonna inherit. And instead of falling in love with some Dustinbrook, he's gonna have a crush that we're gonna see, later in this video. That's Faith Brookfield, and she was made based on Dustinbrook, but yeah, this is it. So here's a popularity sim, and his twin brother with Lady Beatrice, but I made him with the Zodiac. They made him more sloppy, so that it could be like that brother that actually messes up everything and is not responsible at all. So, and his sister is more obedient, more responsible, so that we could have a little bit of backstory, some little fights between them. Not too much to make them enemies like Angela and Lilith, but a little fight between them. We're gonna see how that's gonna go in the future. I don't know. I didn't want to give them to break their relationship all apart like Angela and Lilith right in the beginning. So yeah. So here we have Lady Beatrice. She is no, she's a lady. We don't have too many matches for her. We have Emmanuel Oakwood. That's the current match that we had for her, for Lilith in the Pleasantview. But now we have Emmanuel Oakwood, that is a fortune sim, but he's a peasant, so her father may not like him because he's a peasant. So you're gonna see a little drama between them for marrying her. One thing you're gonna realize is that I don't know why I have a camera mod, and I believe that is actually affected the way teens look like when I'm creating them on Create a Sim. So I don't know why she ended up being like, the camera ended up being like this. We can only see her feet but not her face. It's kind of funny. So yeah, so the next family we are creating, this is a quick one. This is the Kent family. They're made based on Don Lothario, so it's just him. So the storyline is that he's best friends with the king, so he was just in the right time, the right place to gain a title, so he became an earl. And when the title of Earl Charles was revoked, Earl Edward was the one who actually got it, because he's best friends with the king. So yeah. His new one, he needs to get married, but he's a Roman sim, so we don't know if he's gonna have a legitimate heir to actually inherit his title. We don't know how his storyline is gonna be, so we're gonna see in the future. Of course, we love some drama, so we're gonna see how that's gonna develop. And yeah, that's basically also. And here's the one that probably Princess Anne will be matched with, but we don't know if they're gonna get married. I tried to make this game before, and in my first try to make this kingdom and record it, they actually didn't get married. She actually fled, and he was left in the altar, and it was very funny, and I really like this. So we don't know how that's gonna be. And now we're going to the York family, and they were made based on the Garth family. So here we have Mortimer Garth. Of course, he's a widower. He was married to someone. I didn't give her a name, but he was married to someone. Now he's an old person with 2 children to create, and no title and no fortune. But he's gonna have a business in town. So I don't know which business I'm gonna give him. Probably the grocery one, because they need to buy stuff for for eating. So we're gonna have a business for him. And he was the former Earl of Sussex, which is now Earl Edward. And he really resents this, so he became enemy with the king, and he became enemies with Earl Edward. So he's gonna begin this game with 2 enemies. yeah, that's basically it. And now we're moving forward to Lady Charlotte, the former Lady Charlotte. Now, she is daughter with Charles Kent, so Charles York. So she was a lady, but she's not anymore because her father is not an earl anymore. So yeah, she's a family sim, and we're gonna see in the story, just like in Pleasant View, she will have to decide between marrying Earl Edward or marrying like the poor one. That's Eric Oakwood that we're gonna create in the future. So that's the main plot line for her. She wants to build a family. She's a family sim. She is in the science career, just like her father was, and she has a younger brother that's Oscar York. I'm always confusing the name. I'm sorry, but it's Oscar York. So that's made on Alexandra Garth. We don't know much about him, but I gave him the same zodiac that Alexander had. So he's gonna be very much. And I'm sorry, I hit pause when I was recording, and then it all stopped up. I'm deeply sorry. So this is Oscar York. I'm confusing all of the names. I'm sorry. All of the names. I'm sorry. So this is Oscar York. So I couldn't make him son to Charles, so I made him son to Charlotte. But I'm gonna edit that in CPE so that it may be, a little different. Be his son, So I gave her some glasses. I believe I gave her before, but I kind of forgot. So yeah, this is it. This is the family of York. And next one we're following is the family of Oakwood. That's based on the Dreamer family. And here we're creating Eric Oakwood. That's made on Baron Dreamer. And he has basically the same storyline. He's unemployed, he has to pay his bills. His son is a fortune sim, he's a knowledge sim, he wants to live by his art, he wants to live by, creating, painting. He had a job before, but he became unemployed because he quit his job. And, that's basically his storyline. We don't know if he's gonna marry to Charlotte York, but we're gonna see how their relationship will develop because he's very friends with her, and they may even become in love. So we don't know how that's gonna follow. And yeah, so now we're moving on to Emmanuel Oakwood, and he's the one who may probably get married to what's her name? Oh, Lady Beatrice, because they're very friendly with each other. They may fall in love with each other, and I don't know if they're gonna work out, if her father will allow their marriage, because they're nobles and he's poor, so we don't know what may happen in the future. So this is Emmanuel Oakwood, and yeah, that's basically everything. We're gonna see if he's gonna go to university, because I don't know what to do with universities for the peasants, because I want to build a storyline where the peasants actually conquer the title in the future, and we have a very privileged class, and then they become even less privileged. So we're gonna see how that's gonna go in the future. So now we're moving on to the Brookfield family. We're creating Donna Brookfield. That's based on the Broke family. I've got her name. I forgot the name of the Broke brother. I don't know. That was married to Skip Broke. I don't know. But he's Donna Brookfield, and she has a daughter called Faith Brookfield. She doesn't have a son called Dustin. She has a daughter called Faith. So because I needed to match her with Lord Arthur. So yeah, so she's a family sim. She's loppy. She is not very up to money, to working, but she really likes money. So we don't know how that's going to end up. One interesting fact is that in the first time I tried to make this kingdom, she was actually matched with Earl Edward. So it was like, hey, the king actually offered her to Earl Edward. It was very funny because after Earl Edward got left in the altar, the king actually visited him and brought her. So it was like, hey, you can marry my sister, but here we have a peasant. Take this. It was really funny, but we don't know how that's going to end up in this Let's Play. So we are creating Faith Brookfield, and she's a fortune sim, I guess. and she's gonna marry with Lord Arthur. She's gonna like the Caliente sisters, but in a poor way. So we don't know if she's gonna marry Lord Arthur for pure interest or if she's gonna marry him for money. We don't know. And yeah, that's it. So now we are creating what was supposed to be Bob Broke, but it's just Drake Brookfield. And no, he's just a baby. And I don't know if he's gonna have a match or not. I don't know what to do. We might, we might have a princess or a lady for him to get married to. And now, moving on to the last family of this video, it's the Armstrong family. We have David Armstrong. They're very basic. They're just like a husband, a mother, a husband, a wife, and a daughter. And they're very plain and basic. They don't have that much of storyline. The only thing interesting about them is that their wife, that I forgot their name. Oh my goodness. Is that the woman in this family is actually sister to Countess Elizabeth. And I made them so because the Odies, which is the family from Pleasantview, actually adopted both of them. They were adopted, so they were like sisters. So I made the same in this Let's Play. They are like sisters, but one have one color and the other has another color. So like skin tone, just so that that we don't know what their parents were like. So. And she is one of the most handsome Sims that we have in Pleasantview, and I really find her very pretty. And when you have all of these beautifying mods in The Sims 2, she becomes even more beautiful, and I find it like amazing. I just find her like beautiful. That's all I have to say about her. And yeah, they're very basic family, and they have one daughter that we're gonna see like in a minute that is called Hazel. And the reason why I called her Hazel is that Hazel is like one of my favorite characters from the Heroes of Olympus. So she was called Hazel because I really love her character. She's a little different from the original Hazel. She doesn't have like the curly hair, very full hair, but she is one of my favorite characters, and I gave her this name. And I really want to match her with Oscar York, because that's the main couple we make every time we play Pleasantview. So yeah, this is it. Now we're gonna follow to the part where I show you the neighborhood and everything. So now it's the part where I introduce you to the neighborhood I've been planning and building in the past few weeks. So yeah, this is the Kingdom of Wessex. You know where this name came from. Like before England was called England, it was actually called Wessex. So we had a few petty kingdoms like Sussex and Essex all around, and Wessex was one of them, and it became England. So this is just a little boring history part for you. So yeah, so here we have the Kingdom of Wessex. That's the kingdom I'm playing. And here we have the Royal Palace of Wessex, where the Tudor family actually lives. We have King William I Tudor. He's married to Queen Mary Tudor. And we have Princess Anne Tudor, that's actually sister to King William Tudor. And, my inspiration for this family was the Targaryens. Everybody knows that in the time of the conquest, everybody knows, not only the fans know, but whatever. Everybody knows that in the time of the conquest, Aegon Targaryen, the conqueror, was actually married to both of his sisters. So I tried to replicate that on my game, and I couldn't do it. So I married him with the first one, and he was only brother to the second one, and that's it. But here we have like a little Versailles for the royal family. This is like the little part where the royal family lives. We're gonna have a small house for the prince here, and some other houses for the princes and princesses. And this is the part for the royal family, like this is they will live. But the kingdom actually has some other two parts that are very important. The first one is this county, that is the county of Essex. So in the beginning, those two counties were actually separated, but then they became united into the king here, because it was actually inspired by the Targaryen families that actually united the seven kingdoms. But here, he actually united both parts of two kingdoms. So now we have the county of Essex. And the main plot of this is that all of the families that actually live in this part of the town, like in this part of the kingdom actually, will have to pay a very small fee, a very small rent for the earl that actually lives in this house. So we have the family of Lancaster that actually holds this title. We have Earl Robert of Lancaster, we have Countess Elizabeth that is married to Earl Robert, and we have Lord Arthur that actually is son to Earl Robert, and we have Lady Beatrice Lancaster. All of them, they are very inspired by the Pleasant family from Pleasantview. So both of them are twins. They are twin sister, brother and sisters. So instead of like twin sisters, but yeah. So here's the current Earl, and the two families that actually live here is the Oakwood family that are inspired by the Dreamer family, like with Eric Oakwood and Emmanuel Oakwood, and the Brookfield family that is actually inspired by the Broke family. We have Donna Brookfield, we have Faith Brookfield, and we have Drake Brookfield that actually live here. Both of them will pay a small rent to the Lancaster family to live in this area. And the next part we have is the Sussex part of this kingdom, just in the other side of the lake from the royal family here. So we have the Sussex, the Earl of Sussex is actually from the noble family of Kent. Earl Edward of Kent was actually the best friend the best friend from King William. So that's how he acquired the title. Formerly, before the Kent family was ruling this place, the York family used to rule here. And Charles York was actually the Earl of Sussex, but now he's just a peasant. His title was revoked, and he now, has a small house here, which I don't know what to do. I'm going to decide that in the future. And then we have the Armstrong family that has nothing to do with politics here. They are just a very normal family with a husband, a wife, and a daughter that actually lives here. So yeah, as you can see, the Kent family is actually Don Lothario, but with another name. And the York family is actually the Goth family, but with other names. I'm sorry, I'm deeply sorry for my lack of creativity. I didn't know what to do. I just wanted to play like a royal kingdom. And that's all the ideas that I had. So yeah, this is the small neighborhood I've been designing in the past few weeks. I've been working on just so I could play on YouTube and have some fun. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. And if you did like this, you can press the like button. And if you want to follow all of the videos I'm gonna post, you can always subscribe. And if you want to see every video I post and keep tracking of this, you can hit the notification down below so that you can know every time I post something. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next time.